Welcome back to the MixedTV.tv High School Football Thursday Nights driven by Mountain View Nissan. I'm Ryan Lovelace, joined by Drew Linus, Derek Morris, and Brittany Jackson Tucker. And we are over the halfway point for a lot of teams in this high school football season. And we have 8 games this week, guys. Obviously, Walker and Cleveland. I think I should switch spots so you guys can stand beside each other as tradition. But not to be overshadowed, we have 7 other games going on in our area that are looking pretty good. And, I think we're just going to hop in right now, starting with Ray County at Red Bank. That's a 7:30 game. Ray County, they're coming in off their first win of the season. They are 1-3. They beat Ooltewah 28-0. We expected that game to be more of a blowout, but they got their first win of the year. Meanwhile, Red Bank, they have not lost this year. They're ranked 4th in Class 4A under Ted Gatewood. They beat Chattanooga Central 33-7. They forced 5 turnovers, shades of Cleveland in week 1, but that defense has forced a lot of turnovers this year, and that's going to be a good game. It is at Red Bank, 7:30 tomorrow night, down to be a great showdown. Obviously, Red Bank's a class below Ray County. Red Bank's in 4A, Ray County's in 5A. See if that has anything to do with it, but it's going to be a good one tomorrow night at 7:30.
All right, another game is Sweetwater at Sequoia. So Sequoia is still yet to win a game, but they are improving every week, and they've been competitive this year. So we'll see what they can do there. I like the coach's name. It's Derek, so maybe he has something going. Well, Sweetwater comes off a big win over Kingston last week, and they've got it rolling. They're 3-1, 2-1 in conference, ranked 8th in Class 3A. So it could be a good game. I think Sequoia might give them a game this week. We'll see.
Next up, we have Polk County at Cumberland County. Polk County is sitting at 3-2 on the year with a tough loss last week to Tyner, 40-0. So Polk County is looking to bounce back against Cumberland County, who is on the struggle bus. Cumberland County comes into this game 0-5. They're coached by Noah Rapansky. Sorry, Coach, if I'm sure you're listening. But they have struggled mightily this year. They're winless, and they have not scored in 3 straight games. So Polk County and Coach Derek Davis look to get things back on track tomorrow night.
Also tomorrow, Silverdale is at Donaldson Christian Academy. I think we got an exciting game here. Last year, Donaldson looking to get revenge over their only loss of the season. So both teams coming in 3-2, got a win last week. Silverdale got a upset Boyd Buchanan 28-21, so they've got a lot of momentum, a lot of excitement coming into this game. They making their first offensive start for them was Brody Lamb. He ran for 3 touchdowns. Also on the defensive side of the ball, had 9 tackles. So Silverdale looking really good. I think this is going to be an exciting game. You've got, like I said, the Wildcats their only loss last year was to Silverdale, so I think they're going to definitely want to get that, beat them. So it's going to be an exciting game here, and we'll see who pulls it out.
Yeah, another exciting game. McMinn Central, they are hosting Meigs County, 7:30. This is a big one. These are 2 rivals, not in region, but a big rivalry there. Meigs has beat McMinn Central 7 straight years, looking to make it 8. But McMinn Central comes in this game winners of 4 in a row. They went down to Brainerd last week. They fell behind 6-0 early before scoring 26 unanswered to win by 20 points. 225 of their offensive yards came on the ground, 50 rushes, so they're going to pound the ball. Meanwhile, Meigs County, they sort of struggled to find their identity. They barely got a win in week 1, and then they lost back-to-back weeks. But last week they beat Tellico 39-0 to move over 500. They're led by quarterback Ethan Meadows, and I mentioned they're looking for win number 8 in a row against McMinn Central. This is going to be a good one tomorrow night at 7:30.
All right, another matchup of a 4A school versus a 5A school. You got McMinn County Cherokees versus East Hamilton Hurricanes. So McMinn County is about as up and down as it gets. They are win big, lose close. We don't know what to get from them from week to week. So they're going to rely on Caden Hester, who's taken over as quarterback, while Jaden Miller's still out, and try to get things, I guess, consistent. While East Hamilton has their backup quarterback, Juan Bullard, who's playing lights out, and so all the offense goes around them. They beat Sequoia last week or 2 weeks ago, 48-6. So it'll be an interesting game to see which McMinn County team shows up.
Yeah, for sure.
Our next matchup is Ooltewah at Baylor, and Ooltewah's had a tough year so far. They took another loss last week, a shutout loss to Ray County, 28-0, and then moved their record to 0-4 on the year. You know, Coach Manning and Ooltewah still searching for that first win, but against a tough Baylor team this year who comes into the game 4-0 with a big win last week over Pope John Paul II, 42-7. And Baylor's just trying to get things rolling for that Baylor-McCallie matchup here coming up soon. So that game's tomorrow night at 7:30, Ooltewah at Baylor.
Yeah, so a lot of good games tomorrow night. All of them starting at 7:30, except for Silverdale at Donaldson Christian Academy. That's a 7 o'clock kickoff Central Time, so 8 o'clock our time. You know, it's looking like it's going to be a beautiful night. The heat's going to leave. I think the high's upper to mid 70s tomorrow. So everybody go out and watch some football. A lot of good games in the area, a lot of competitive ones, but obviously the big one, Walker Valley's hosting Cleveland. And we're going to talk about that one in depth after this break we're about to take. You're watching the MixedTV.tv High School Football Thursday nights. We'll be right back.
We're here at Mountain View Nissan of Cleveland.
We are here with great service.
We're here.
We're here.
We're here.
We're here with great deals.
We're here for you.
So come get huge Nissan savings when you shop Mountain View Nissan of Cleveland and Cleveland-Nissan today. Home of the exclusive lifetime warranty.
L&B Appliance is your one-stop appliance shop and HVAC dealer. Locally owned and operated, serving this area for over 30 years. They offer sales and service. L&B Appliance, located on Durkee Road at Highway 64 in Cleveland, 423-339-3231. L&B Appliance, large enough to meet all your home appliance needs, small enough to appreciate your business.
So Lynn, tell me about your experience at Chattanooga Auto Square.
We have been thrilled with the service, and we wouldn't dream of shopping anywhere else.
They take the time to show you everything and work with you. The salespeople there were excellent.
It's been good working with them and also with the excellent service.
I sure live here.
And that is correct.
Chattanooga Auto Square. Luxury lives here.
Hands. You might think they're just for waving, but they can be used for all kinds of things, like making made-from-scratch biscuits at Hardee's.
Bite into the new 2 for $5 breakfast deal only at Hardee's.
This is Thomas Williams with Mountain View Nissan of Cleveland. Stop by today and take advantage of Bradley County's largest pre-owned inventory, or visit cleveland-nissan.com, home of the lifetime warranty.
Remember Me Senior Care is Cleveland's first assisted living and memory care neighborhood. They specialize in assisted living for those who are still active, with a community of indoor and outdoor activities. They also provide memory care living for those who are facing life with dementia. Learn more online at remembermesc.com or call their office and set up an in-person visit at 423-473-3140. Remember Me Senior Care, a culture of care your loved one deserves.
Wholesale Supply Group, you've heard the name for years. The experts trust them, and you should too. Whether you're building, remodeling, or just maintaining your home, Wholesale Supply Group has all the plumbing, electrical, and HVAC products you need to supply any project. With great brands like Delta, Kohler, Rinnai, Mansfield, Progress Lighting, Square D, GE, and Milwaukee, Wholesale Supply has everything you need. Check out the locations in Cleveland, Chattanooga, Athens, Dayton, Madisonville, Dalton, and Chatsworth. Online, wholesalesupply.us. And remember, Wholesale Supply is open to the public.
Welcome back to the MixedTV.tv High School Football Thursday nights, driven by Mountain View Nissan. Ryan Lovelace still joined by Drew Linus, Derek Morris, and Brittany Jackson. Tucker, that's the right one. I have to think about it every time.
You got it right. It's new.
All right, I haven't missed it in a while. I got Drew and Derek. I mess up every week. And then, all right, anyways, moving on. The big game this week up in Charleston, even though it's Cleveland city limits. Cleveland at Walker. It's not Cleveland city limits. I don't know why I'm saying. Bradley County, there we go. Cleveland at Walker Valley. Walker Valley coming in off a loss versus Smith County, and I kind of want to start there. Drew, I almost said Derek. Drew, what happened up there? I mean, last year this game went to 3 overtimes, and then this year, I mean, it looked like it was pretty close down to the wire.
Yeah, it was back and forth game. Their size kind of got to us a little bit. They had some big kids. We struggled at times to stop them, but we scored some points, which was good. I mean, after 2 weeks ago, we only had 3 points, and so it was good to kind of get in the end zone a bunch, early, and then we had chances late with still some time left on the clock to try to battle back, and we scored late with probably like a minute and a half left to make it a 5-point game, and it was one of those things. We've kind of been up and down, and our coaches have obviously been frustrated, but it's like, maybe this is the week that we get things turned around, we get things back on track for the back half of the season, and against a crosstown rival, and one of those things that we've got to get figured out on both sides of the ball. Offensively, you got to score. Defensively, we got to stop them. So it's as simple as that.
Yeah.
So.
This is your third straight home game. You've lost the first 2.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big one. Mm-hmm. Moving on, Cleveland. Last week they traveled up to Farragut and got, for lack of a better word, demolished. They fell behind early, and they were playing from behind all game. They lost 42-13. Derek, as our lone person on the panel who picked Cleveland last week,
yes.
What are your thoughts just on that game up in Farragut?
I wore a basketball shirt, because I didn't want to wear a football shirt today. But Farragut, the wheels came off real quick. They got behind to a good team, made a lot of mistakes, and it just didn't get better. So I mean, it is what it is. They got their butts kicked. So now what Cleveland has to do is the same thing Walker Valley's trying to do, which is regroup. What have we done well in the past? What can we build on? And it's one of those losses you can't take a lot of stock in. A good team killed you, so what can you do to improve coming next week?
Yeah. Brittany, second rivalry game of the year for both teams. Obviously, both teams have played Bradley earlier this year. At the end of this week, one of these teams is going to be 3-3 and at 500, and another team's going to be 2-4 and 2 games under 500. So a big difference in records there. I mean, it feels like this game has a lot more on the line than just a rivalry game.
Yeah, I think the coaches of both teams are really they're excited to see what their players, how they react and how they perform. I mean, both teams, upset last week and have been, as both coaches said here, just inconsistent this season, if we should say. And so, it's how do you respond? I mean, as a player, that's what coaches want to see, is how you respond. And I think this game is going to tell you a lot about the team that comes out on top, is, how they respond this week and perform.
Yeah. So, Drew, this is the 20th meeting of Walker Valley and Cleveland. Walker Valley's only taken home 4 of the past 19. Does that sort of loom large over sort of the guys on the team, or is that just one of those things that's more of a chip on the shoulder?
I think it's a little bit of a little bit of both. And that may be a weird answer to that question, but my big thing is a lot of these kids that obviously these kids that are on the team now haven't beaten them. So it's like that's something that they want to do. And 2016, these guys were in middle school, I guess. I think there ends up being pressure from home. Like it's like they're like parents who went to Cleveland, parents who went to Bradley, and they want to have that feel of like, we beat them, we competed with them, we played with them. But it's also like, what do we have to lose? I mean, it's just another game. We've had this is our 3rd straight home game. It's been a tough stretch of games. Our next 3 games are tough too. So it's like, we're 2 weeks away from fall break and a bye week. So it's like, how are we gonna respond? But it's like, we want to beat them just like Cleveland wants to beat us. Yeah. And it's one of those things, kind of bragging rights. The guys that they're friends with or they go to church with, hang out with, whatever. I'm sure we got some of our football guys that date Cleveland girls, but they may break up with them if they lose or something. I don't know, but it's just one of those things that like they want to. We want to get that signature win over them at some point. Why not now? So.
Yeah, and I mean I feel like a win over Cleveland would sort of springboard Walker Valley's season because I mean last year it felt like sort of the same narrative going in this game. 2 teams around 500 looking for that statement win and. Everybody thought Walker Valley had a pretty good chance, and Cleveland came out and shut Walker Valley down. Yeah. So going into this week, I mean, the difference between last year and this year is Cleveland's coming off a loss at Farragut versus a win at Farragut. So a little different taste in your mouth going into this game. Derek, what are your keys just for Cleveland to get their offense going? Because, I mean, I feel like outside of the East Ridge game, the offense has been more or less stagnant for the Raiders.
Yeah, that's a very fair statement. they still are, I think, yet to really find the identity. I mean, Lambert threw for 139 last week, but they're also down the entire game. So is that really what they're trying to do? So their defense has usually played well. So the key, I think, is to establish a run game. I mean, this is like football 101, but it's establish a run game so they can get play action. So Lambert can have maybe a little more time, slow that rush down, so he has time to throw and hit the athletes in space. I think that's ultimately what you're trying to do. It's just a matter of making that work. It's easy to say get a run game going, but you then have to create holes for running backs to get a run game going. So, and then the opposite, I think, is true for Cleveland, because they have dominated this. They can't go in saying, "Oh, we always kill them." They have to know this is a game, and they got to be ready to play.
Brittany, any last words about just this big game we have going on tomorrow night?
No, I think it's exciting. I mean, I think Bradley not playing. It's going to be a lot of people in the stands. So it's just I think everybody, not only just the coaches, as I mentioned, but everybody, the fans are just wanting to see who responds and who comes out with a win, because it's up in there.
Yeah. And I think it gets lost in rivalry week is just how good the game is for the community when it comes to, it's crazy to say, but sort of bringing people together. And especially with Bradley being off, I mean, this is the thing to do. Tomorrow night, it is at 7:30. You can listen to it on Mix 104.1 for the Cleveland broadcast, 99.1 for the Walker Valley broadcast, or you can watch it right here on mixtv.tv with Steve Hartline, Shelton, and Rogers up in the booth, and me getting bullied on the sidelines. But it's bullying. It is brutal. But it's bound to be a fun game, and we have a lot of fun games in the area. We've talked about 8 so far, including this one. And when we come back from the break, we're probably going to do something that's not good for the community and pick these games. But as for us, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to update our standings from last week and the year in total, and then we're going to pick all these games.
From Lookout Mountain to Cleveland, from Red Bank to Collegedale, luxury lives here.
Chattanooga Auto Square is your home for premium luxury automobiles.
And we have the largest selection in all of Chattanooga of pre-owned vehicles from every major brand.
Chattanooga Auto Square, Jaguar, Land Rover, Porsche, Infiniti.
Luxury lives here.
The ability to try a criminal case in front of a jury is one of the most important skills a lawyer can have. Make sure you hire a lawyer that can do it. The law offices of Stephen Hatchett are here for your criminal needs in Athens, Cleveland, and surrounding areas. Contact their offices at 423-290-7698 or message them at facebook.com/Hatchett Law.
L&B Appliance is your one-stop appliance shop and HVAC dealer. Locally owned and operated, serving this area for over 30 years. They offer sales and service. L&B Appliance, located on Durkee Road at Highway 64 in Cleveland, 423-339-3231. L&B Appliance, large enough to meet all your home appliance needs, small enough to appreciate your business.
Anna, can you count to 5 without saying 1 or 3?
Sure, 2, 4, 5.
That's right. Our big story is the 2 for $5 breakfast deal at Hardee's.
You got me.
I know, I did.
Bite into our made-from-scratch biscuits today.
This is Thomas Williams with Mountain View Nissan of Cleveland. Stop by today and take advantage of Bradley County's largest pre-owned inventory, or visit cleveland-nissan.com, home of the lifetime warranty.
Welcome back to the MixedTV.tv High School Football Thursday nights, driven by Mountain View Nissan. Ryan Lovelace still joined by Drew Linus, Derek Morris, and Brittany Jackson Tucker. And guys, we have 8 games. We were talking about it over the break, but some of these are pretty hard to pick. And, I think we're going to jump right in with one that I think is pretty hard to pick. Ray County at Red Bank. Ray County 1-3 on the year. They're coming off their first win of the year. Meanwhile, Red Bank, they're 4-0 this year. But, it's a 5A versus 4A. And, it's kind of hard to think that Ray County won't be good,
For sure. You want me to go first?
I guess.
I went 9-1 last week.
Oh, yeah. Hold on. Let me update everybody on this. So
I was hoping we'd skip this.
It's pretty easy to skip when, for the first time, you didn't have the best record. Talking about me. But Drew, you mentioned that you went 9-1. Brittany, me and you went 8-2, and Derek, you went 6-4. So overall in the year, Brittany. Hey, over 500. That's what we need. Brittany, you're at 30-18 on the year. One game behind Derek at 31-17. Derek, you're 4 games behind Drew at 35-13, and you're 2 games behind me at 37-11. So the races are getting tight. We got 8 games this week. So let's redo this. Starting over, Ray County at Red Bank, 7:30 tomorrow night. That's a big one. I think it could be competitive, but high school football, you never know. Drew, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it could be a competitive game. I like that it's at Red Bank. I think Red Bank's clicking and doing some really great things. They're scoring some points. They're doing some great things defensively. And I think Red Bank wins this one by 2-3 touchdowns.
Yeah, I think Ted Gatewood has Red Bank rolling. I mean, you got a running back who's already got an offer from Vanderbilt. Ray County has struggled, and so I know Ray County is normally good, but they just don't look great this year. I'm going Red Bank.
I go with Red Bank too. I think it being at Red Bank, they have a lot of momentum, undefeated, haven't lost. It's going to be hard to beat them at home.
Yeah, I like Ray County in this one, but the fact that they hosted Ottawa last week, and no offense to Ottawa, but they only scored 28 points. I feel like the offense is just lacking for some reason for Ray County. They lost a lot on the offensive line, and I think that's killed them. And Red Bank's defense looks legit, and I think Red Bank gets a big win at home to move to 5-0 on the year. Next, Sweetwater at Sequoia. Sweetwater coming in off a big win over Kingston. They're 3-1, 2-0 in the region. And then we celebrated Sequoia Day yesterday, as I call it. 4 years ago yesterday, Sequoia won their last football game. They are 0 and somewhere in the 30s or 40s since that moment. They're 0-5 this year. They're coming off a loss at Saudi Daisy, but they are at home. If there's any consolation prize, Drew, is that enough to pick Sequoia?
I do not think so. And as much as I like Derek Vestal, I know he's not happy with being 0-5. And another tough game this week against Sweetwater, who's won some games that maybe we didn't think they were going to win. They're clicking, doing some great things, but Sweetwater wins this one big.
Yeah, the winning thing for Sequoia is they get a home game and they'll get the gate, but Sweetwater beats them handily.
Yeah, I think this one is kind of a no-brainer, but Sequoia too. I mean, when you're 0-5, you any type of player that's competitive wants to finally get a win, still got to go with Sweetwater.
Yeah,
trick there.
Knock them back.
That's old Derek mentality there. Sweetwater ranked 8th in Class 3A. I don't know if you had that on your preseason bingo card, but you definitely had a win over Sequoia on the bingo card, so I'm going with Sweetwater. Polk County at Cumberland County. This is an interesting game. We don't know much about Cumberland County, but what we do know is they are 0-5. Polk County, they come in back-to-back losses, one against McMinn Central and another one against Tyner. They're going to Cumberland County, looking to right the ship and move to 4-2 on the year. Meanwhile, Cumberland County looking to get their first win of the year.
Yeah, this one could get ugly in a hurry, and I guess those Jets are just going to run out a little bit of fuel before the kickoff. Polk County gets the big win on the road, and Derek Davis comes home happy over Cumberland.
Yeah, I think Polk County wins big. This right here, someone typed up so good, it says Cumberland County has struggled mightily this year. So the mightily has gotten me that Polk County wins big.
I wonder who typed that.
I don't know.
Even though Cumberland County was one of the hardest places I went to play in high school, I hated going over there. Their fans, I remember the Water Girl, all kinds of stuff. They have a good atmosphere.
Really good girls basketball.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But it is tough to play over there. But I'm going with Polk County pretty easy here.
Yeah, I think Polk County wins this one as well. Cumberland County beat Polk last year, but they're 0-5 this year. So give me the Wildcats. Moving on, this is a fun one. Silverdale Baptist Academy versus Donaldson Christian Academy. Silverdale, they were Donaldson Christian's only loss last year. They went 12-1 and won the state championship. Meanwhile, Silverdale, they have looked up and down this year, but they're coming off a huge upset win against Boyd Buchanan. Meanwhile, Donaldson's coming in with back-to-back wins. They are 3-2 on the year. Both teams are 3-2, and this game's at Donaldson Christian Academy. It looks like it's going to be a good one. So, Drew, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I think Silverdale's running high right now with the big win over Boyd last week in a back-and-forth game, and I think that they get another win this week over DCA. Yep.
So in 5 weeks, I've picked Silverdale wrong every single time. So just to make the fans happy, I'm going to pick Donaldson.
You know, this is a tough one. I think it's going to be an exciting game. I think, like I said, Silverdale's got a lot of momentum, playing well. The Wildcats, though, I think it being at Donaldson Christian Academy, only lost last year. I think their coaches have got them pumped up. They're really wanting to get this win. I'm gonna go with Coach and say the Wildcats get a win.
See, this puts me in a tough spot.
You wanted to be the only one.
I think Donaldson Christian Academy wins this game. But because you picked them, it's kind of I don't know if the Derek curse is going to stand or not.
Right.
But you know, I'm going to be like a college game day picker and get a little bias here. Paul Wade played football in college with my dad. I picked Donaldson Christian Academy last year to beat Silverdale. That was their Donaldson Christian Academy's only loss. I don't think they lose this year. Give me DCA.
All right.
Moving on, another big one. You know, we're big McMinn Central fans. They're hosting Meigs County. Meigs County has beat them 7 straight years. Meigs is ranked 13th in Class 2A. McMinn Central, they're riding a 4-game win streak. Meigs County, it kind of looks like they've found their identity. They're 3-2 on the year. Meanwhile, McMinn Central is 4-1. This is a big game up in Etowah. Drew, what are you looking at?
I'm sure the atmosphere will be awesome, and you know, McMinn Central's finally got some things clicking. And you know, when I coached back in the day, we always, you know, would always get so happy when we would beat Ray County because Jason Fitzgerald was there.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't handle it well, and so I'm sure he's not handled these losses that they've had. They had the big win last week, but I don't think he's going to be too happy on Friday night after Matt Moody rolls in there and they get the win for McMinn Central.
Man, this is a tough one. I have not been on the McMinn Central bandwagon yet, but I've been wrong a lot. So I'm going to stick with my losing ways. I'm going to pick Meigs to beat number 8.
I wanted to hear what they had to say because this is a tough one. But you know what? I have been on the McMinn Central bandwagon. I'm a Matt Moody fan, and so I say that McMinn Central wins.
Yeah. You know, I kind of feel like I've been driving the bandwagon. So give me McMinn Central just because I feel like it. Moving on to the other side of the county. McMinn County, they are hosting East Hamilton. This is an interesting game. 2 teams without their starting quarterbacks they expected to have at the beginning of the year. McMinn County's 3-2. East Hamilton is 3-1. You know, we've talked about McMinn County, kind of a Jekyll and Hyde team. You don't know what you're going to get. East Hamilton, they are coming off a bye week, so you kind of don't know what you're going to get. They have a backup quarterback, but just so happens to be their star running back taking snaps now. So, Drew, which team you think is going to, you know, get the good version of themselves?
Yeah, this one should be a fun one, but I think that East Hamilton wins this one big.
Yeah, McMinn's being so up and down. They won big last week, 36-0, so they should be down. So East Hamilton wins.
It's at East Hamilton, correct?
It's at McMinn.
It's at McMinn. Okay.
Hurricane won.
I'm still going to go East Hamilton. I think the Hurricanes win this one.
You know, I think McMinn gets rolling. I think they're rolling right now, and I think they beat East Hamilton coming off a bye week. I think they jump on them early, and you know, big first quarter for McMinn, and then you know it's even football the way out. But McMinn takes the win. Ooltewah at Baylor. Baylor's looking like one of the best teams in the state. Ooltewah is not. They are 0-4 on the year. Baylor is 4-0 on the year. Baylor's coming off a big win at Pope John Paul II, 42-7. Meanwhile, Ooltewah is coming in off a loss at Ray County, 28-0. I mean, Drew, is it cut and dry?
Yeah. I mean, this one should be pretty straightforward, and I think the young pups at Baylor are going to get a lot of playing time here in the second half because they're going to be up big at halftime. Baylor gets a win.
Yeah, I agree. To have any sort of upset, you got to be able to score points, and Ooltewah got 0 against Ray County last week, so Baylor big.
Definitely, I agree. I mean, especially Baylor, as Drew mentioned, they're getting rolling. They've got confidence. They're ready for that McCallie game. They're playing well. Easy win.
Yeah, I think Baylor wins, and it's nowhere close to close. Moving on, the big one, Cleveland at Walker Valley. We got triple coverage here. Walker Valley broadcast on 99.1, Cleveland broadcast on Mix 104.1, and you can watch it right here on Mix TV. Both teams are 2-3 on the year. Walker Valley's coming in off back-to-back home losses to Knox Carter and Smith County. Meanwhile, Cleveland's coming in off a loss at Farragut. So one of these teams is looking to right the ship and get back to 500. It's up at the stable or the corral. What do they call it? The MAC. The MAC. Is that right? There it is. Third time's a charm. But, you know, it's a big one. Obviously, you're wearing your Walker Valley stuff. So, I mean, is there any mystery behind who you're picking?
No, not at all. Just like each week, you know, I feel for our coaches and our players and the season that they've gone through so far. And, you know, Coach Akins is seeking that signature win, signature rivalry win. And I think it happens tomorrow night, and it'll be an exciting way to, you know, head into next week. But our guys are going to get the big dub tomorrow night.
Interesting. Well, you know, both teams are looking for identity, right? So we know that. And when you're coming off losses, someone once said nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills, but none of these teams are the Buffalo Bills. So the Cleveland Blue Raiders win big. Big.
I don't know what that logic was.
I don't either. It just came to my head, so I went with it.
Good.
You know, I think it's going to be an exciting game. I think it's going to be close. I'm going to go with the Blue Raiders simply because my household will be happier.
Good pick.
And that is the truth.
You know, I think this is going to be a really close game. You know, but at the same time, we thought this last year and Cleveland kind of dominated. So, you know, you never really know what to think going into this game, but it's at Walker Valley, and I really feel like Cleveland has struggled offensively and Walker Valley has excelled defensively, and for that reason, I think Walker Valley pulls off a big win against Cleveland for the first time since 2016. Join us next week, and we will see how we did with our picks. So, you know, hopefully one of us goes undefeated. We haven't had an undefeated week yet. You know, I'm not, you know, calling my shot, but I think I'm going to go undefeated at least probably the rest of the year. So, you know, just,
that's good.
But, oh yeah, a lot of great football here. Mix 104.1, we're your Southeast Tennessee football headquarters. You can track all the scores on our Friday night scoreboard, and then you can listen to us talk about it on the Friday Night Blitz presented by Hardee's. But you've been watching the MixTV.tv high school football Thursday nights driven by Mountain View Nissan. From all of us here at the station, I'm Ryan Lovelace, Drew Linus, Derek Morris, Brittany Jackson Tucker, Gideon Ratcliffe, and Austin Chadwick. Have a great night, everybody, and we will see you next week.